everyone, this is Teresa from Base 10 Montessori, and today we are going to do our final lesson on our embroidery stitch sampler, and that's going to be the rose stitch. But before we begin with our rose petal, let's take a look at an embroidery I just finished up a little while ago, and here's an example of doing this technique in an actual pattern. So I have two of these rose petals right here, and they turn out kind of fun, and they're really not difficult. It looks a little complicated, maybe a little intimidating at first, but you're actually not doing a whole lot of sewing. It's more weaving than sewing. And so that part can be pretty easy if you have already mastered the concept of weaving. Now let's take a look at our instructions. And the rose stitch right here, it says we're going to work with number 6 for our color. That's this purple one right here, number 6. And it says we're going to be using 4 strands. And I already have my needle ready, so let's get started. And you might hear some background noise because my Basset Hound is joining us for this video today, and sometimes she likes to walk around and make some noises. So if you hear some background noise, I will edit it out if I can, but if I can't, well, you know what's going on in the background is that she's decided to make herself comfortable. So let's see if I can get permission from my dog to get started on this stitch without too much noise. So right here, we're going to start with these lines. And this is just a straight stitch. We're going to go a straight stitch up and down, a straight stitch up and down, a straight stitch up and down to make all of these lines. It's just a simple straight stitch. So now we've got 1 stitch up. Let's do 1 stitch going down. Just follow that line. Very simple. And we're going to do this for the other ones. One stitch up and 1 stitch down. So 1 stitch up and then 1 stitch down. So now we've made a nice little star with our lines. And this actually is all the sewing we're going to do with it because the next part is actually weaving. And I guess that's bothering my Basset Hound because she's starting to whine. Maybe this isn't her favorite stitch. Let me go see if I can calm her down and then we'll finish this. So to finish this, just go ahead and pop up your needle into someplace close to the center. Doesn't really matter which part you start on. And what you're going to do now is weave over under in a circle until you fill out the entire circle. So it's pretty easy when it comes to this next part. The difficult part is keeping it not too tight, not too loose, right? If you get it too tight, it's not going to look like a flower. And if you get it too loose, it might be kind of frumpy looking. So we're going to go over one, under the next. So we went over here under this one. So now we're going to go over and then under the next one. And these are actually very tiny circles to work with. So if you're doing this at home, you might want to make a bigger circle, maybe more like an inch. And that might be a little easier to work with. These smaller circles are a little hard to see maybe on camera. And they're a little bit tough to work with. So if you're making your own at home, I'd make a bigger circle. So we went under with this one, we'll go over and then under. So we went under this one, so now we're going to go over and then under. And if you accidentally pull it too tight like I do sometimes, just back it out just a little bit, give it a little bit of a pull backwards. You want this to look like flower petals. So we went under here, and we're going to go over, under. So we're under here, we're going to go over, under. So we're under here, over, under. So we're under here, over, under. And I think we can keep going just a little bit further to fill out our circle. So we're under here, we're going to go over, and then we're going to go under. So we're under with this one, let's go over and then under. So we're under here, over, under. And I think this will be my last round for this. So let's finish this up. And let's go over. And then under this one. I almost can't even find it anymore. So let's finish this off. Last couple. Let me pull that one back out. It's a little bit tight. Back it out just a little bit. So we're going under that one, over, and for our final stitch, we'll go under this top one. So there we go, we finished that one. Let me show you how to finish it off. So in order to finish it off, we have to put our needle through to the back side. So let me see if I can get a good angle on this. So I'm going to put it underneath and through to the back. So now let's look at the back side. That's what that looks like. Find a place to run your needle through. And I'm going to put a knot in this to keep it in place. And I'm going to pull it through one more time. Weave the ends through so there's a little bit of an extra end. Give it some length. And now we can admire our work. There's your rose. Now I'll let you work on this one by yourself. So for now, we're going to complete our series of the different types of stitches. And eventually I'll come back around and show you how to work these pictures. If you're doing this at home and you want to work these pictures, if a cat is too complicated for your beginning sewer, just do a circle or an oval. So if you're making yours at home, you don't have to do the full cat. If that seems complicated, just practice with an oval, practice with a plain shape. And again, with the tree, if it's too hard to make those French knots all together, just make a stick tree and use that back stitch. So simplify where you need to. And then when we get back to the satin stitch right here, when I do this picture, I'm going to show you how to do a technique for the leaves. They're actually so many techniques to do leaves in different ways. If you do a little search on YouTube, you will see a plethora of videos on different ways to make leaves using the fishbone stitch, and you can certainly do just a plain satin stitch, but it might be fun to actually look at some of the other techniques which I feel like work better for leaves than a plain satin stitch. So maybe when we come back around, I'll show you how to do something a little different with the leaves than just the plain satin stitch. So with that being said, don't forget to like this video, comment down below, share this video with somebody, and of course subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.